The following video contains spoilers for both the Fallout television show and games. The many vaults scattered across Fallout's post-apocalyptic US house unimaginable horrors, but the creator of the series has revealed their original endgame, and it turns out there was a method to Vault-Tec's madness all along. Spoiler alert, no, it wasn't to make even more Garys. The Fallout series has evolved quite a bit over the years, but one concept that has remained constant in the franchise's story is the presence of vaults. Created by the Vault-Tec company shortly before America was devastated by nuclear war, these underground bunkers are built to shelter and provide a sustainable atmosphere for the survivors of the apocalypse. Or so the denizens were told.
You see, Vault-Tec is the foremost builder of state-of-the-art underground fallout shelters. Vaults, if you will.
Over the course of several games, it has become terrifyingly clear that not all of the vaults were built with altruistic intentions in mind. Most of the vaults are home to terrifying experiments on the human body and psyche. One vault goaded its inhabitants into human sacrifice, another mutated normal people into human-plant hybrids. Basically, surviving the first nukes was the last truly good thing to happen to most of the folks who moved into the vaults. This all begs one massive question. Why? At long last, Fallout co-creator Tim Kaine has revealed the out-of-this-world true purpose of the vaults, explaining a good chunk of the sordid history on his YouTube channel. According to the description in Kaine's video, Vault-Tec wasn't trying to save the inhabitants of the vaults, but instead they were testing technologies they would need to make a multi-generational starship they could use to flee from a ravaged post-nuclear Earth. In other words, there wasn't a ton of consideration put into how the folks who actually had to live in the vaults would fare when put through these secret tests.
You can play out your own ideas for how to create the perfect conditions for humanity, whatever you want to do.
To make matters worse, most of these unknowing test subjects never figured out that their elected leaders were behind these awful experiments, at least not until it was too late. In a fascinating video uploaded to his personal YouTube channel, Tim Kaine dug into the backstory of the Fallout universe, revealing Vault-Tec secrets that have only been hinted at in the games themselves. Kaine conceded that Bethesda's newer games may have a different origin story in mind, but the following is his original conception of why the vaults turned out the way they did. According to Kaine, the bigwigs in charge quickly came to the conclusion that Earth is beyond saving.
The head of the Enclave and probably the very highest levels of the US government were like, let's build a starship.
Kaine explained that the Enclave, basically the post-apocalyptic feds, knew, quote, that would take forever, so it has to be a multi-generational starship. However, aside from the engine that will take them away from the dead planet, Vault-Tec isn't totally sure what else the company will need to make the journey. That's where the guinea pigs living in the vaults come into play. Kaine explains,
Vault-Tec director, not being the nicest person in the world, would probably have just said, why don't we use the vaults to figure out the technology we need in the ship?
And so the vaults are built to experiment with food production, cryogenic freezing, the limits of the human psyche, and more. The goal was never to save the people living in the vaults, but to instead determine the best ways of preserving the ruling class as they searched for a new planet to call home. That's pretty bleak, but it fits perfectly within the world of Fallout. War never changes, and neither do the shadowy sci-fi governments that stand to profit from them.